Welcome back to Sub-Zero Hero. If you're brand new to this FM21 series, we're trying to take a team from the bottom of Norwegian football to the top. Using nothing but our youth intakes for recruitment so far, we've meandered our way to the Norwegian Premier Division. It's our first season there. I thought it was going to be a season of bitter struggle, but we're doing a little bit better than even I'd anticipated. Our youngsters continue to develop well. 3 of them are in the Norwegian Under-21 squad. 1 has even gone to the Olympic Games with the Under-23s and has scored. If we could create more players like Martin Duse and Ibsen, well, this adventure might have a couple more twists left in it yet. Today we're going to bring you up to date with our Under-19, show you what we've been doing with our training, and we're going to be playing our last winnable game, potentially, in quite some time. So I don't think it's any great secret that after more than 8 seasons at this, I still don't know how to pick them. I thought the latest batch of youth intakes were an absolute duff lot. I'm not sure whether I might have jumped the gun a little bit early on this. Remember, I thought Duse and Ibsen was going to struggle to make it into our first team. We've now sold him for the best part of £3 million. I think our youngsters have been helped by the fact that at the start of the season I completely redesigned all of my training programmes, both for the first team and for the under-19s as well, and I think it's doing the trick. I tried to make sure that I designed more balanced training programmes, particularly for the under-19s, that was hitting every attribute area every single week, particularly trying to work on some of those more attacking or technical attributes with our defenders and some of those more defensive and mental attributes with our strikers, just to try and create more rounded prospects. And if we have a look at how some of them are doing, I think it's doing the trick. This is Paul Runnigan, and look at how many different areas he's making improvements in. Granted, that natural fitness is still a bit of a bugbear for me, and there's some attributes that are particularly difficult to try and target, such as aggression and bravery. But there's other attributes that are really difficult to shift that we're doing a reasonable job on. Runnigan's being mentored, so his determination is on the up. We're even making some improvements to flair, perhaps the most challenging of attributes to improve, and there's other players that are developing just as nicely. This is Oscar Berg, who across the cup and the league has now made 6 appearances in the league for the first team, 4 in the cup, 10 in total. Looks like he could be a decent right back for us. He's quickened up a little bit. His natural fitness has improved. He's already got great teamwork and work rate and a couple of other mentals. And if we could stick 2 or 3 more on lots of these technicals, a player I think we might have on our cards there, such as Tromsdalen Bratton, who's a year older than Berg and has been playing more first team football, and he really has started to develop now. Again, look at how many different areas we've got him improving in. We've quickened him up. He's a 6'3" centre half. The aggression, well, you can't improve aggression very easily, so it looks like he's going to be more of your covering central defender, but another good player developing pretty well there. We've got lots of these players, all with weekly training ratings above 9, some of them frequently hitting 10s as well. Morton Richardson's the other player of note, I would say. He's got really well-rounded attributes there. Physically, if you stick 2 on everything, he's looking good. Mentally, well, if he makes no further development, he's not the worst. We've just got to try and carry on hitting those technicals. Never going to be a centre-half at 5'9". A defensive-minded central midfielder, though? He just might be. It's not even like it's just the players with good personalities that are developing. This is one of our goalies with an unambitious personality who's been knocking around for 2 years and done precious little. Suddenly now, he's kicked into gear in the first team squad as well. We've got plenty of players who might be a little bit older, but are training okay. Jonas Hartvigsson, for example, is now getting training ratings above a 9, which is almost unheard of for me. Wait for it. There was even one week when we praised Andre Gersa for his training. Thankfully, he's reverted back to type, although he has changed his personality now from balanced to spirited. But we are training them on pretty nicely. And also, our next youth intake, of course, is going to come through having been playing and training with better facilities. So we're now up to having just average training facilities for the first team, which I think if we get another windfall is what we would attack next. But we've got great youth facilities and good academy coaching, a step up from both of what those were rated as last year, coupled with our exceptional youth recruitment, which is as good as you can get. And I am hopeful that our next batch will be a good one. The current batch are playing very well, by the way, though. They are top of the Under-19 Championship, tied on points with another team, and it's pretty tight at the top there, and they've got 7 games left to go. But I'm quite hopeful that we have got a good little youth system in place now, with the best, fingers crossed, yet to come. Now, without wanting to be too positive about everything, because that's not what we come to this channel for, the old first team haven't been doing too bad either. We left you with a 3-1 victory in our last episode against bottom of the table Starbeck. Well, we followed it up with some more good results. So we beat Start, who were also down there in the relegation zone. Martin Deuce and Ibsen getting a free kick winner for us. Then we played Strømsgodset. We beat them 2-0 as well. Emper scored a penalty. And Deuce and Ibsen scored again, by the way. Deuce and Ibsen's been missing for a couple of weeks while he's off at the Olympics. And as Norway show no sign of getting knocked out that tournament, he's not available for today either. We then got a 1-1 draw with Sarpsborg. It was looking like we might steal a 1-0 win, but then Gersa got himself sent off for a 2-footed lunge after I just substituted him for being injured. We couldn't drag him off in time before he saw the red mist. And then we were down to 10 men, holding on just to get a point. In the next game, we played a cup tie against a team from the division below and did very well. It set us up for a quarter-final tie against Odd, and unfortunately they were just too good for us on the day. This one wasn't even close, if I'm honest. They absolutely put us to the sword. We didn't have a good performance on the pitch, really, in that whole game. We then came back to another league fixture. Again, we should have got a minimum of a point, but it was ill discipline that cost us. We were in the lead once more in this game, and one of our youngsters, Runnigan, came into the starting lineup. I'd move Hartvigsson over to the left because Hartvigsson could just not buy a goal recently, and Runnigan put us into the lead. I was just trying to give him a little bit of experience. He's only got finishing of 6, but he did very, very well to take his chance, and we were looking great in this game until this time. Well, this time it was our central midfielder Herram that got himself sent off, and then Sandefjord came at us. It was like the Alamo. We could not hold on, and a game we probably should have won, if not at least got a point out of. Well, we ended up losing, and I thought this might be the beginning of a little bit of a sticky period for us, but in the next game, we were absolutely magnificent. We scored 5 against Lillestrøm, who granted are down near the foot of the table. The pick of the goals coming from another one of our youngsters. One of the perks of being 4-0 up in a Premier Division game is you can bring on 15-year-olds and give them a bit of exposure to first-team football. And when they reward you with finishes like this, well, it means that they get a good rating. And again, that doesn't half help their attribute bumps when they're coming into the first team and getting ratings above a 7. And then in our most recent game, when we played Haugesund, our old foes, we could not beat them again. I mean, we got ourselves off to a perfect start. Gersa played magnificently in this game, got to the byline, threw over a great cross. One of the perks of having a 6'3" wide man coming in off his line is that he can nod home at the far post. But unfortunately, we let them back in the game pretty early on, and I might have dropped my first clanger, in youth development, because they had a player called Gort Overby playing for them. This is one of our youth prospects who I just released on a free because I thought he was never going to make it. and he's pitching up, making his Premier Division debut in a game against us. I don't know whether I might have made a little bit of an error on that front, but you probably want to have a look at the table, don't you? And it's not looking too bad at all. We find ourselves in 6th place. Bearing in mind, the height of my ambitions at the start of this campaign was 13th. 6 I will settle for right now, but things are about to get an awful lot tougher. We've got a game against Arlesund today, and that's going to be our last easy game for a little while, because then we're going against Bodø Glimt, who are top of the table. Then we're going to be playing Molde, one of Norway's big teams. We're going to be playing Odd, who absolutely obliterated us in the cup. Christiansen, Brann, Vålerenga. Then we've got a game against Rosenborg on the horizon as well. This is a tough old run. We've got to brace ourselves for the fact we might not get many more points until we hit that game against Start. And those last 5 games, well, they are looking a little bit more winnable for us. So today, it's pretty vital that we get 3 points just to keep nudging up our total, burying nuts like a squirrel in winter time before we hit that tough run of games. So in our last match, we got a 1-1 draw, and a couple of players picked up bookings that mean they're suspended for today's game. One of them's going to be Adoy Hansen. I think we're going to bring in Mats Neser to replace him. Berg has been playing at right back for the last couple of games. He's not the worst I've ever seen, so we're going to give him the start today. We'd love to have Martin Doosan Ibsen playing for us in the midfield today, but he's with the Olympic squad, so we need to make a change out there. I think we're going to bring in Ola Christian Jensen, who can go and be the more defensive of our players. I'm not sure he'll play as a playmaker, although he's got passing of 12 and vision of 12. We might change him to just a regular central midfielder with a defend function. And then we've got a choice to make. Do we play Runningen, who I'm thinking might be more of a deep-lying forward than a central midfielder, or do we bring in Ludvig Dreyer, who hasn't played great since he came back, but has only really had one start, and I've not given him a fair chance. I think what we're going to do is we'll start with youth, carry on developing Runningen. We can always sub him off at half-time if he's having a little bit of a tough game. We're going to make a couple of changes to the bench, then we're going to see you for the kick-off. And so we are underway with the home team, blue shirts for us. And at the last minute, I did make a little change to my lineup. I've still gone with a youngster in midfield, but rather than Runningen, who might come on as a striker for us if we're doing well, well, instead I've gone with Morten Richardson. Bit more rounded of a player as Hartviksen nods wide early on. So a strong start, and we'll be interested to see how Richardson gets on. Having scored against Lillestrøm a couple of games ago, could he have another good performance? We've got Lulago coming forward, and Hartviksen has got a goal. He's not been great recently, but that's a good start. God, we've come out of the blocks for this one, haven't we? Emper's involved. There's little Berg getting his crossover. Got youngsters getting involved because Lulago comes forward. I don't think he's going to get an assist for that. But it was gorgeous from George, wasn't it, over at left back? And Hartviksen's doing his cartwheel. Strong start. You'll see that keeps us right in contention for a top 6 finish. Only the top 4 are getting European places because of who's going to win the cup. No big teams are left in the cup, which is why I was a little bit frustrated at getting drawn against Odd in the quarter-finals, because the rest of the teams were lower Premier Division or even First Division teams. If we could have squeezed past Odd, we would have actually been the favourites to have gone on and lifted the cup, but was not to be. We're coming at them again with a corner. We've got Hugo at the near post. He can't get anywhere near that. We could do, by the way, next youth intake, a set-piece specialist would be superb. It's maybe not top of our shopping list. A really quick striker and another good centre-half would be superb. As Hugo Emper has just showed a little bit of craft and guile and curled one in, and that's what I said about riding a 6'3" centre, well, wide midfielder coming in at the far post He's done it again. He's headed home again. And he may well be tapping those biceps. He's shown us his strength for the second game running. And now we really are off and at the races, aren't we? We're coming forward again. 22 minutes. Let's get the ball wide. Gersa's in. We got men in the box. Frustratingly, Gersa does hit the front man all too often for my liking. I'm going to whisper this quietly because I don't want to offend you Gersa fans, but I'm not sure he's quite at a Premier Division level. There, I said it. He's going to prove me wrong, I'm sure now, but he's not quite quick enough. He's crossing and dribbling, hover around the 10s and the 11s. He's not the strongest. I don't know whether he's perhaps on a little bit of borrowed time. We've picked up an injury and now we are going to be seeing Ludwig Dreyer, I think, aren't we? Because Jensen has picked up a little knock. What does it say about this one? Groin injury. Sounds nasty. Dreyer definitely cannot play as the deep line playmaker. Absolutely not. Not with his passing of 10. So we'll put him on a defend function. And we've had a pretty decent first half. We need to keep it up, though. If they get one back just before half-time, well, this game is still in the balance. And they've had a decent effort, haven't they? Nessa is not the tallest if we're playing him at centre-half. He was a bit vulnerable in the air there, wasn't he? We're now getting towards half-time. Have we got one more highlight in us? Not sure we do, you know. We're getting all the way into the half-time break. Okay, it's time for the kettle. It's time for a little bit of a word. I think maybe one of encouragement after the half that they've just had. We'll see you out there for the second period. Okay, we are back underway. We got some pretty good performances out there. Ludwig Dreyer's come on and isn't playing great. We've done the unthinkable. We have switched him to the playmaker just to see whether that continues to help the team, even though he's not really adept at that kind of position. And we've got a little bit of work to do here. We're getting broken on. We've got 3 men back, and they are flooding forward, aren't they? We need to get players out wide and close this down before the cross comes in. We've not. They are playing their way through us. Okay, we've got the numbers back now. We should be able to defend this. Could we win it back and break ourselves? It's a long old highlight. And they are in. We cannot get the ball off them. Oh no, who's done it? It's the youngster. Oh, he has scissor tackled at waist high. That was an impetuous little challenge, wasn't it? And now, well, now we've got some thinking to do. We're going to have to go 4-4-1. I think we're going to have a little bit of a rejig. See you back out there, Con. We're only 4 minutes in. Okay, well, that challenge by the youngster has really made a game of it now. Well, we're just hoping that the referee blows up pretty soon because we have got a long period to navigate with only 10 men on the pitch and we've given the ball away despite the fact I'm trying to keep possession as much as I can. You'll see we're playing a little bit deeper to try and keep them at bay, but it's giving them a lot of space and they're in and they've got one back already. This is starting to look worrying now. Axelsson has not been marked by Berg. He's gone all the way past him. God, Berg is not even aware of him. He's over your shoulder, son. Nowhere near him. This is a team, by the way, in Ålesund who are bottom of the table. We cannot be throwing away points. We've already demanded more. We can't do it again. We've brought Tony Berg on, by the way, the forgotten man, to play in midfield for us. We've gone 4-4-1. With Hartvigsson switching out over onto the left, but we've still got more than half an hour left. I'm not even sure we're going to be grabbing a point from this game. Never mind 3. Oh, why did he have to go and get sent off? And they've got in round Berg again. Okay, well, I think we're going to have to make a couple of little tweaks. Maybe even thinking about defensive change. Nessa is on a 6.4 out there. I think we need to see what else we can do. Okay, we've tried putting Ludwig Dreyer as an anchorman just in front of the back 4. Seeing if we can close down some of those gaps that we've got appearing all over the pitch. We're still 2-1 up. We've got 10 minutes to go. The highlights seem to have dried up a little bit. It's hard to know what kind of shout to give out. We're into the highlights again. Gersa has lost out because he is a little bit slow for this level. And we've got just over 5 minutes left. It's with their keeper. Blow up now, ref. Oh, and they've gone all the way over the top. Oh, and they have missed an absolute sitter. Right now, we do need a shout. We're going to have to focus them, which I think will turn all of the body language red. No, it's actually turned the back four green, but it's brought on another highlight straight away. Gersa has now headed it. Well, to nobody really. We got nobody up there. We've got Emperor as our sole man up top. And Nessa's managed to get ahead on one. We've got the ball. Keep it up their end. God, it's not sticking with Emperor up there, is it? Nessa's won the ball again. Okay, we're playing it all the way back. Who's this highlight for? I couldn't tell you right now. Emperor. Try and just keep the ball this time. Hartvigsson is getting away. Try and win a corner. A penalty. Don't give the ball away, though. We're going backwards now. We're going the wrong way, boys. Oh, God, we have given the ball away. That is absolutely criminal when in possession. And they've got it in. Oh, and that is the product of our own profligacy. Okay, we're going to have to try something else now. Okay, the press are going to have a field day, but we've subbed the sub. Dreyer has come off. Not just because of that pass. He's having a bit of a bad game. We've brought Hartvigsson into midfield and brought Schönerson on to try and give us a little bit of pace on the break for this final couple of minutes, because we've thrown away a 2-goal lead against the team that are bottom of the table. And it's not done yet, is it? This is a highlight because we've got a minute left. Emperor, who's not had his best afternoon. Schönerson's meant to be giving us the pace on the break. Go on, son. Keep going. Run. No, we've gone backwards again. Here he is. And now he's given the ball away. What is it with these players? They're giving it away, and this is not a good team we're playing. And they were nearly in again. It's not over. They've gone over the top this time. And we have got away with one in the 94th minute. Now we're going to take the point. We'll just take the point. What a disappointing way to end this game. And it's not the first time where a youngster has gone and got themselves sent off and we've not been able to hang on unless Schönerson can do something. In the final moments, he cannot. And we have got away with one there, haven't we? Was that even offside? Not sure it was. So that is a disappointment. And we're going to let them know that that was not unlucky. Absolutely not. That was downright not good enough. And Morten Richardson, with his aggression of 14 and his waist-high scissor tackles, has just cost us a couple of points. So how's that leaving the table looking? Still in 6th. 3 points away from dropping down to 8th. We have got a heck of a run of games coming. By the time we come back, do not expect us to be up there in 6th place. Expect us to be significantly lower. Hopefully, not getting dragged into a relegation battle. Surely, we're clear of that.